Su-25 Flight 575 is assigned a free hunt zone on Highway M5. You are cleared to engage any military vehicles on or near the highway. There is a known enemy vehicle refueling point in the town of Kanshekun. This priority target is marked on your maps. Welcome to Khmeimim Air Base in Syria, and welcome aboard my Su-25. As enumerated in the briefing, today's mission is a free hunt. I'll explain a little bit more about that once we're underway, but first I'm going to request taxi clearance and get moving. Which we should get in just a moment. There it goes. Clear to taxi, runway 17575. Which we will read as runway 17 left. Those of you who have seen my other missions flown out of here will know that the DCS ATC system, which is not great at the best of times, well, yeah, it's a little fishy. But in general, we know what we're about. So yes, the mission today is a free hunt, or a Svobodnaya Ochota, in the vicinity of Highway M5 around Kanshekun. Now, the free hunt mission type, for those who aren't familiar, is one in which we are given a designated area in which we are cleared to engage any, in this case, any military vehicles that we see within that designated area without any prior permission or clearance of fires being required. So, well, I won't point out the designated area yet because I'm still taxiing the airplane, but I will point out a few things on the F10 map once we're in the air about that. Anyway, we're going to cross runway 17 right and go line up on 17 left, per usual. Clear right and left. Probably shouldn't taxi too fast. AI wingmen tend to taxi, well, at more reasonable speeds, shall we say, somewhat slowly. So one thing I will do is line up on the runway and taxi ahead slightly so that my wingman can line up next to me and we can take off, not quite in formation, but such that he won't require a lot of time to catch up with me. And I'll occupy the left side of the runway to that end as well. And takeoff clearance is also a little bit fishy when it comes to the ATC system, but we're not going to worry too much about that. Okay, number 2's lining up. Let's go. Takeoff power set. Whoops. It's going to punch up waypoint 1, but it was already in. Okay, airspeed's alive. We'll rotate at about 260. There it is, up we go. Okie dokie, gear up. And flaps up. And per the real-life departure procedure, once we're in the air, we will turn west and climb out over the Mediterranean. And once we're above a safe altitude, we'll push inland. I'll talk a little bit more about that because it does go to the question of tactics for this mission. So once I roll out, I'll pretty much explain everything from the top. There we go, he should rejoin, and he's carrying a lighter load than me, so he shouldn't have a problem catching up, in principle. Alright, we're set up for a climb. So if we pop into the F10 map, which I'm using to a degree to abstract the MFD in the Su-25 SM3, since we don't have that in DCS, I've drawn quite a bit on it. Ever since the drawing tools were added to the DCS mission editor, I've been using it quite a bit. It's a fairly powerful tool. So we have the front line here and our free hunt zone along Highway M5 is drawn here. Basically, it runs a ways north and south of the town of Kanshekun, which is here, and I can draw in the waypoints. Pop out again to make sure we're not stalling or rolling over and crashing into the sea. So pretty much we'll proceed here and patrol along the highway. Now, one thing we do have is a single known target, so essentially a pre-planned target that we're also going to hit, which is a known enemy refueling point. So that's sort of an adjunct to our free hunt mission. Now, when it comes to armament, if we look out on the wings, we're carrying 2 Fab 500 kilo general purpose bombs and 2 S8 rocket pods. I'm planning to drop the bombs on that pre-planned target on the refueling point. And then any targets of opportunity that we come across on the road, I'll spray them with the rockets. So we've got plenty of altitude. I'm going to now select waypoint 2 and turn inland. Now, the only other tactical matter to point out here is, at the very least when we're in level flight, we need to ensure that we are outside the air defense envelope of the enemy. We anticipate a AAA short-range SAM and manpads threat in the target area. Now, all of those weapons are effective up to about 3,000 to 3,500 meters above ground level. And the other thing, if we pop into the F10 map, we can observe that the ground level along most of our objective area is about 400 meters. Therefore, if we stay above 3,900, we should be, that is 3,900 meters above sea level, we should be completely safe from all of those threats. So I will do that as much as possible. We may drop lower than that temporarily when making attack runs with the rockets. And in that case, we'll just be dispensing lots and lots of flares to keep the risk down. So I'm going to climb to about 5,000 meters as an en route cruise altitude. Probably stay below this cloud layer, which I believe is at about 5,000. And there we go, level off. Number 2 should catch up. I'll make sure he goes into the formation I want him to. Go formation. Honestly, probably doesn't matter that much. I mean, there's only 2 of us, but that should form up into a nice 2-ship element that way. Anyway, we're level at our cruise altitude. I think there's not much more to say other than to just carry on inland and head for the target area. Hello, hello. We are approaching the designated area. We're 15 clicks back from waypoint 2. That down there is the town of Kanshekun, which is where our pre-planned target is, so I'm kind of orienting myself based on that. But if we pop open the map and look there, that is Kanshekun. There should be another town pretty much straight ahead of us, kind of under the nose, which there is, which marks the northern end of our free hunt zone on the highway. And another one further down here. And that settlement marks the southernmost point of our free hunt zone. So once we've put our bombs on the pre-planned target, that will be the area we'll search in. So I'm going to select those bombs now. I'm going to drop them both on a short interval. And let's see about spotting that target, which is a refueling point right in the southeast corner of the town. I do believe I can see some vehicles parked there, but I'll descend a little bit as we make our way in. Dropping down to probably about 4,000 meters even, since that's pretty much the lowest safe altitude, so that's pretty much where we want to be in order to maximize spotting. Yeah, I think I have a pretty positive idea on that target. So, I'm going to level bomb it using CCRP mode, so I'll put the laser on, put the pepper over the target, press the trigger, level off, keep the carrot at the top of the reticle until bombs are released, which they are. I have dropped a little bit below the SAM hard deck because I was in something of a descent on the way into the drop. So I'm going to climb back up again and release some flares as I do, keeping my eyes open for SAMs. Wingman's still with me. I could probably tell him to hold. Anyway, there's the target down there. We'll observe the effect on target. Alright, both bombs detonated in the vicinity of the target. I see a vehicle pulling away from it, though. So, rockets are selected. I think I'm going to roll in on that vehicle. Where's it gone? Okay, it's just pulled onto the other side of the road and stopped. I'll extend away very slightly, shut the laser off. Level off at 5,000. Extend away slightly, and then come back around to make a rocket run on that truck. The white pickups, which is what that was, are technicals, jihad mobiles, whatever one might wish to call them. Pickup trucks with heavy machine guns on them. Those will probably constitute the bulk of our targets today. Alright, we've extended far away enough. I'll come back round. Have that other settlement down there. I might as well have a little bit of a scan going along the road there. See about any additional targets that we can engage afterwards, but that is slightly secondary at the moment. Still at 5,000 meters, that's fine. I could probably sort of flow a little bit lower as time goes on, just for better spotting. So I'll enter a little bit of a glide now. Hold power off. I can still see that truck. Alright, I'm going to roll in on it. Speed brakes out. Laser on. I may shoot from slightly beyond the indicated maximum range, just to keep the range open. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Fire! Flares. Forgot to turn the auto flares on before we pulled up. Anyway, climbing turns seem to be a pretty good SAM evasion maneuver, and they also enable us to do a little bit of on-the-fly battle damage assessment. Alright, that truck is burning. See another one on the road. Are we above the SAM hard deck yet? We are now. I'll level off at 4,000. Now... yeah, oh, we have another column of vehicles there, moving in a soldierly fashion. That's definitely a target. I'll extend away very slightly and then roll in on that as well. I'll attack the column from back to front, although there would be something to be said for coming from the other direction with the sun behind me. But, whatever. When attacking a moving column, it's probably a bit easier to hit it. Is that column slowing down? I can't quite tell. They might have to negotiate some wreckage as they pass that refueling point that we hit before. Anyway, I'll lead the column a little bit. I'll pretty much aim at the first two vehicles, probably. In fact, I think I'll just shoot the intersection at this point. Alright. Plenty of flares. Tally a number of burning vehicles. I've got 2 pulling off the road into that field there. So I'll extend away and engage them next. Still technically slightly below the SAM hard deck here, but there's a little bit of extra built into that, as it were. So I'm not too worried. Honestly, I should probably, once we're up at altitude, tell my wingman to hold position. There's no real need for him to be going in on these runs as well, when he should be holding high cover and watching for SAM launches. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'll roll in field. Trim a bit. Shoot. And up we go. I did put auto flares on this time. Get ourselves into a climbing turn. Because releasing flares... Okay, I didn't actually put the flares on. Slightly inattentive about that today. Maneuvering as well as releasing flares is a more effective form of SAM avoidance. It's smoking, but not completely destroyed. Alright, I will re-attack. I see 2 vehicles there, both smoking, but neither one completely done for. So I'll extend away a little bit again, and attack out of the sun to the greatest degree possible. That's my number 2, holding position. Alright, come back around. Probably afford to climb a little bit in this turn. Not that it's super necessary. The fact that I haven't seen any SAMs come up yet is somewhat reassuring, but probably shouldn't get complacent. But it does mean that I feel a little bit better about pressing home attacks to slightly closer range. So I'll at least wait for the in-range light to come on this time. I'll pop a pair of rockets at each of these vehicles, I think. And climb away. And a little over-the-shoulder evaluation. One of those trucks is now burning, the other is still smoky. Honestly, I'm a little bit reticent to keep throwing rockets at a single vehicle when there might be clustered targets available. Ooh, like that one. Okay, that was a freebie. Well, I'll extend away and attack that column from front to back, out of the sun, as would seem to be wise. Tell you what, I'll just continue to climb as we turn. Okay, no, I've lost sight of that column. Where'd it go? Is it in with those trees? No, it's still further back. Okay, now I see it. In we go. Aim just ahead. And let the range come in a bit. Rockets. Away! I probably shouldn't bank quite so sharply during these climbing turns. I'm probably losing some rate of climb because of that. Okay. I see a burning vehicle on the road. I see two pulling off onto that second road there. Oh, and clustering up right next to each other. Perfect. Okay, I'll extend away and reattack those. And I suspect we don't have too many rockets left, so we'll have to see whether that ends up being the last run or not. Keep it level, come around. Coordinate your turn. Eyes on. Rolling in. Ram on target. I'll let the range close a little bit just because I'm feeling increasingly confident. And those were indeed our last rockets. Well, make them count. Up we go. I'm going to try and limit that angle of bank to 45 degrees, but I still want to be turning. One vehicle burning. You know, no SAMs whatsoever coming up at us. I almost feel reasonably confident in making a gun run. Now, the cannon in the Su-25 is considered to be generally a little bit of a last resort weapon. It's really not like the A10 where it's a bit more of a core system. But it's still a 30mm cannon. It's still perfectly good. Yeah, I feel like we can take the chance today. I don't know if I've ever done a gun run in the Su-25 on the channel before, outside of maybe some multiplayer thing. Alright. In that case, I will engage that truck that we didn't quite get on the previous run. Guns up. Alright, where'd that truck go? Shoot, adjust. Shoot! Not sure if we got it or not. This is gonna sound like an outrageous complaint, but the cannon on the Su-25 is, oh no, it is burning. The cannon on the Su-25 is, oh, I hate to say the words, too accurate. But it basically has almost no lateral dispersion to the line of fire that it draws. So if you don't get your windage just right, it's actually quite easy to miss your target wide. And because I'm feeling really like pushing my luck today, I'm going to make a second gun run and hit that truck that we left smoldering before. Selected, Zwipo. And shoot! That truck is burning. Alright, I'm done pushing my luck. Time to climb back above the Samhar deck, join up with my wingman and return to base, I think. Plenty of flares out, we've got loads of them. And shallow out your bank angle so that you can climb a little better. Keep away from the cities, which are more likely to have air defenses. And I think we've probably gotten away with this. Well, we've left a lot of burning enemy vehicles on the field. I'm feeling pretty good about that. So, number 2. Join up. Alright. We're above the Samhar deck. We can stop putting out the flares. I'm going to punch up waypoint 1 again, since that's our climb and descent point over the Mediterranean. Not sure where my number 2 went. Let's have a little look around. I don't want to leave him too far behind. Oh, there he is. Alright, I'll close the angle a bit for him so as to make his join up a little easier. I'll just level off and throttle back to cruise power. Yeah, the Su-25 engines are a little bit smoky. But there you go. It does make it a little bit easier to see number 2 when he's joining up there. But anyway, that's probably all that really needs to be said about that. He should be able to close in and make the rejoin easily enough. So I'm going to turn west and head for home. And climb a little bit. We'll probably level off at 5,000 again. Just to stay below these clouds. Yeah, there he is. He should be able to catch up no problem, and we're not actually that far from base on this mission anyway. That's one thing, actually. I did bring external tanks on this mission, but we probably didn't need to. I mostly did it for the sake of realism, because it's extremely rare to see a Su-25 flying around without external tanks. It has kind of short range without it. So I brought them this time, but they're not actually all the way full. I only put a partial load of fuel in them, and we've still got loads. So that's not really an issue. But yeah. Like I know I've seen a few pictures of Su-25s without external tanks in, like, what I could think of was in Afghanistan, where in some cases they were operating close to their bases, but they usually weren't. So, yeah. External tanks, for the sake of authenticity. That's probably enough babbling on my part. Let's head back to base. Welcome back. We are currently overhead Khmimim, inbounds to waypoint 1 again, and since the ground level is pretty close to sea level, we can definitely start our descent now. And yeah, there's the field down there. Pretty much, once we've made that descent out over the sea, I'll turn back inland for a right base onto runway 17 left, as usual. We'll get in contact with ATC now. And there's number 2. Somehow maintaining station. Oh, yeah, now he puts the boards out. QFE 75766.
Посадочный 1-7. Занимайте высоту круга 5-7-5. Работайте с посадкой.
That is one thing that I'll admit I haven't observed very closely in a lot of my videos, is the use of QFE, or altitude above field elevation, which is a very common practice for the Russian Air Force, but for me as a Western pilot is a little bit of an alien concept, but I might as well dial it in. So, punch up the landing system. We've still got a little bit of low morning fog near the ground, so it's actually a bit tricky to spot the field at the moment. But no matter. Now's probably a good time to tell my wingman to return to base so that he'll land independently. I will level off and keep my speed down. And assuming we're on something like a base leg, sort of, not really, I'll put the gear down and extend the flaps to the aft position. And, you know, I really can't see the runway. Well, I imagine we should pick it up in but a moment. Let's have a look out here. Where is that it? Yes, it is. Okay. I'll just dogleg a bit of a base leg here. Flap set to full. Yeah, that's the field. And that's 17 left. And we're at about the right speed. Try not to overshoot the turn on to final. We're a little bit high, actually. I'll maybe fan the boards just a little bit to get rid of some of that energy, but shouldn't be a problem. There we go.
Проверьте выпуск шасси. Посадочный 1-7.
And we'll try to make a graceful landing of it, shall we? That was pretty good. Pretty much right on the markers. Whoa! Then I pressed the left rudder pedal a bit too hard. Okay, well, had to embarrass myself at some point. And I think we need to run all the way to the end, because I've missed the other taxiway. Well, that's okay. Boards in. And this will just be a little bit of a protracted taxi. But no matter. Open up the taps a little bit so that we don't take all day to roll to the end. Oh, actually, we do have taxiway golf there, which isn't quite at the end. Well, that's alright then. And slow her down. Alright. 575, runway vacated. And then we'll just back taxi on 17 right. Return to the stand from which we began, and shut down. Well, what else can I say, really? I mean, the outcome of the mission is entirely satisfactory. Plenty of targets were destroyed, and even used the gun this time, which I hardly ever do. I'm not sure if there's much more I can elaborate on about that, but yeah. just get that back taxi out of the way. Trying to think if I had any more comments about the cannon in the Su-25. I do use it quite a lot in multiplayer because I fly the Su-25 on Heat Blur's, formerly Enigma's Cold War server, quite a lot. And that's a relatively low air defense threat environment, so you can employ rockets and bombs from close range, employ the cannon from close range with relatively minimal risk, at least once you've knocked out the AAA at your target area, which is always good to prioritize first. So yeah, in that context, the cannon's pretty useful. In real life, I mean, I've read a lot about the combat history of the Su-25, and the cannon being used is very much a rarity. In part since its effective range could best be described as uncomfortably close. Mind you, that is kind of the case with the A-10's cannon as well. If you're in a position to actually use it in a high air defense threat environment, you're definitely living dangerously. Anyway, just about back to the stand. And I think I want to take the fourth empty one once we taxi past these two other Rooks here. Because I think that's how we had things organized. How I had things organized when I set up the mission. Blah, blah, blah. I think I had 2 empty revetments in the ones we were in. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll just park up in front of this one. Not perfect, but nothing some guys with a tow bar can't fix. Shut it down, canopy open, electrics off. And that's going to be about it. Oh, number 2's landing. Well, we might as well watch. Whoa. Yeah, the AI tends to land competently with perhaps a very slight thud. Anyway, he's done a decent job of it, and frankly, probably a slightly better job than I did. That's going to be it for now. That has been the mission. It seems to have been pretty successful, and I hope it was reasonably interesting to watch. I will be back with other missions of this and other sorts, and also with the next SB mission in good time. That's going to be it for now, though. Thanks for watching. Toodles.